Hello and welcome to your mat. My name is Stacey. For today's practice, you'll want to have an optional yoga strap and 2 yoga blocks nearby. If you don't have those, you can simply substitute with any other similar shaped household item. Go ahead and get what you need, and I will meet you lying on your back in Shavasana. As you come to settle onto your back in your Shavasana, just take note of how your body is feeling today. Any areas of tension, areas where you may feel out of alignment or a sense of gripping. Maybe give yourself a few little wiggles in the limbs, the torso, sending your arms and legs wide, and settling into stillness. And take a big breath in through your nose, let your belly rise up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, let your belly soften and fall. Big breath in, belly rise. A breath out as the belly falls. Continue to take a few more long, slow breaths just like that. Welcoming a sense of openness, spaciousness through your body with every breath in. And a sense of grounding with every breath out. Take one last big breath here. We'll start to awaken the body by wiggling fingers and toes. Find some rotations through your wrists and ankles in both directions. Slide your feet together at the bottom of your mat. And draw your right knee in towards your chest, and taking hold of the right knee, interlacing behind your thigh, or you can use your strap to add length to your arms. And keep reaching through your left heel, lengthening up the spine and out the top of your head. You can play with the position of the right knee. Maybe it's close to the center, maybe it's off to the side a little bit, whatever feels best. And take a few slow motion circles with your right knee, really isolating the movement to the right hip, grounding down heavy through the left. Circle in the opposite direction. As you come through center, pause here. Reach for your strap. We're going to loop the strap over your right foot and send it up towards the ceiling, using the strap to draw your toes towards your face. If this is a little bit too much today, you can always bend the left knee, bring the sole of your left foot onto the floor. Working towards a straight right leg, but it's okay to have a bend in the knee as long as you're feeling a stretch up the back of the right thigh. Send your right hip crease away from your shoulders and down into your mat to lengthen up the right side of your body. you'd like to bring a little bit of activation into this posture, we're going to start to press the toe mounds of the right foot into your strap as if you're stepping into a gas pedal. Press firmly into the strap for 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that effort, return to the flexed ankle. Maybe you're able to find a little more depth in your pose. Once again, we're going to press into the strap, reaching the toes a little bit higher towards the sky, as if you're pressing into the gas pedal for 3, 2, 1. Ease out of that effort. Deep flex in the ankle as your toes draw towards your face. Maybe you find a little more depth. One more time, just like that. We're going to press into the strap. Keep pressing firmly for 3, 2, 1. Ease out of the effort and find your new depth. If it's not already there, we're going to bend through the left knee, bring the sole of your left foot onto the floor. Release your strap from the right foot. We're going to cross the right leg over the left, bend at the right knee as if you're sitting cross-legged in a chair. With the right leg crossed over the left, we're going to draw the knees in towards the chest. Once again, taking hold of the left knee, maybe using a strap behind your thighs if that's more comfortable. Pressing all 4 corners of your pelvis into the floor. If you're not quite feeling a stretch into the outer hip and glute area, with the knees still hugged in, you can start to walk your hands down your shins towards your ankles or the outer edges of your feet. Draw your heels away from each other as you squeeze your knees in towards your belly. As you do this, you're going to feel your tailbone start to lift up off the floor. Can you lengthen through your spine, especially the low back, and reach your tailbone down towards the mat? Pressing evenly through left and right hip. Slowly release the feet if you're holding them. Let your left foot find the floor once again. Right leg is still crossed over the left. And take whatever arm variation feels good. We're going to move into a twist, so sending the knees over to the left side of the room. You can uncross your legs at any time if this is not working for you. Option to place a block beneath your knees for support. Gaze is at the ceiling or over to the right. Breathing deep into the lower right belly. Come back through center. And take a little counter twist in the opposite direction, sending your knees over to the right. Again, option to use the block to bring the floor a little bit closer to your knees. And then come back through center. Uncross your legs. Draw both knees in towards your belly. Hugging them in towards you with as much or as little gap between the thighs as you like. Take a gentle rock from side to side, massaging your low back. Pause in the center, take hold of the left knee, extend the right leg long. Reaching the right heel towards the bottom of your mat with a deep flex in the ankle. You can soften through the left ankle as you hug your left knee in towards you. Take a few circles with the left leg. Moving as slowly as you can, listening to your body, noticing those areas of tension. And circle the opposite direction. As you come through center, pause there. Reach for your strap. We're going to loop the strap this time over the left foot, send it up towards the ceiling. Having the strap on the toe mounds. Making any adjustments you need. Always the option to bend the right knee, bringing the right foot onto the floor if you're feeling a little bit more tight today. And then if you'd like this to become a little bit more active, we're going to press into the strap as if you're stepping into a gas pedal, using the resistance of your strap to deepen your stretch and activate the muscles. Keep pressing into your straps for 3, 2, 1. Release that effort. Return to your flexed ankle. Maybe you're able to go a little bit deeper. Once again, pressing firmly into the strap. Keep the left hip pressing into the mat. Keep pressing for 3, 2, 1. Ease out. Maybe you're able to find a little more depth. And one last time, just like that. We're keeping the left hip firmly rooted, but pressing into the strap for 3, 2, 1. Let that go. Just taking a few moments at your new depth, welcoming some length at the back of your left leg. Keep the right toes pointing up towards the sky. They're not falling over to the right. And then if the right foot is not already there, we're going to bring the right foot up onto the mat, bending through the right knee. Release your strap, set it off to the side. We're going to slide the left leg over the right, crossing at the legs. Bend through the left knee, as if you're sitting in a chair cross-legged. Keep all 4 corners of the pelvis pressing into the floor as you hug the knees in towards you, either taking hold of the right knee, the back of the thighs, or using your strap. If you're not quite feeling that stretch, you're welcome to walk your hands down your shins towards the outer ankles or the pinky toe edge of your feet. Draw the heels away from each other and keep the knees hugged in towards your belly. Keep your tailbone pressing down towards the floor. Just taking note if you're holding a little more tension on this side or the first side. It's normal to feel a little asymmetrical. Slowly release the heels. Let the right foot find the floor. Take whichever arm variation feels best. We're going to lengthen through the spine first and then find your twist by sending your knees over to the right. Option to use your block underneath the knees for some support. And you can choose whether your gaze is up at the ceiling or over to the left. Breathing deep into your lower left belly. Come back through center. I'm going to take a little bit of a counter twist in the opposite direction with or without the help of your block. Just listening to your body here, never going deeper than the body allows. Pausing when you feel that resistance. Come back through center. Uncross your legs. The knees a little rock from side to side, releasing any last remaining tension. You can draw your knees in towards your belly and then allow them to come over to one side, rolling onto your side body. Using one arm as a pillow, placing the opposite hand on the floor or your body. Just rounding through your back by drawing your knees in closer towards your belly. Breathe deep into your back body, feeling the ribs expand in all directions. When you feel ready in your own time, we're going to find our way up to tabletop. Your shoulders are over your wrists, hips are over your knees. And just take a few little sways from side to side. Sending one shoulder to your hip and then the other. Releasing through the back of your neck, let your head fall heavy. Pause in the center, we'll go through cat and cow. Big breath in, lifts the tailbone, belly drops, pull your heart forward, lift it up. Exhale, scoop your tailbone, rounding through your back body, hollow out your chest as you look to the belly. Inhale, tailbone lifts, belly drops, pull your heart forward and up. Exhale for cat, press firm through the hands as you round to the spine and look to the belly. Big breath in for cow. Soft breath out for cat. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more, follow your own rhythm of breath. Once you've finished your 3, land in a neutral spine. Walk your knees back a couple of inches. Shoulders are over the wrist for modified plank. Keep your low belly drawn in without flailing out the lower ribs. A long spine, gazes down, not looking at the room in front of you. Take a big breath in to lengthen. As you exhale, start to bend the elbows, let them graze your ribs. Resist gravity as you lower down onto your mat. Your palms stay on the floor beneath the shoulders, elbows squeeze in towards the ribs and back towards your heels. Press down through the shoelace side of your feet, reaching through the big toes. Inhale, lengthen and lift collarbones, 1 or 2 ribs comes up off of the floor. Exhale to lower. Inhale, press through the feet. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale to lower. Keep pressing through your feet as you inhale, lengthen and lift. Maybe 1 or 2 more ribs comes up off of the mat. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lengthen and lift. Exhale to lower. This time we're going to lengthen and lift and hold. We're holding the lift, but not the breath. Little to no weight in the hands here. You want the strength to come from your low back. Keep pressing through the shoelace side of your feet, reaching through your big toes to stay active through the legs. Take 1 more big breath here. As you exhale, lower down, press through your palms, come up through tabletop. Send your hips back towards your heels for child's pose. Always the option to bring your hips down onto a block. Take a big breath in, pull yourself up and forward, modified plank. Exhale to lower with control. Inhale, lengthen and lift for your cobra. Exhale to lower, press through tabletop, child's pose. Full breath here. Inhale, come forward, modified plank. Exhale to lower. Big breath in to lift. Exhale to lower. This time as we press ourselves through tabletop, we're going to tuck the toes behind us, lift the knees, lift the sits bones, downward facing dog. Lengthening from the top of your head to the tip of your tailbone. You can have a little bend in the knees to begin. Just really focus on lengthening through your spine. Ears are in line with your biceps. Pressing firmly through all 10 fingers, especially the thumb and the index. Maybe walking out your dog by bending 1 knee, and then the other, allowing each heel the opportunity to reach for the floor. Pause in the center, find your dog. And then lower your knees to the mat. The left palm is going to stay on the floor. You can always bring it a little bit more towards center. With a big breath in, we're going to reach the right fingertips up towards the sky. Gaze comes up. Exhale, thread the right arm through between the left arm and your body. We're going to slide it over to the left. Press down through the left hand, reach that right hand back up towards the ceiling. Exhale, thread it through. Press down through the palm, lift back up. And this time, as we thread the right arm through, we're going to hold the pose. So keep sliding those right fingers over to the left until you're able to lower the right shoulder and the top right corner of your head to the mat. The left fingertips can walk in front of you towards the top of your mat. Pressing firmly to the back side of the right hand. And keep breathing. Slide your left hand in towards your face. Press firm through the left palm. Reach those right fingertips up towards the sky. Down towards the mat, landing in the center. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide, send your hips back, child's pose. Take a moment to land in your child's pose, a full cycle of breath. And draw yourself up to tabletop. The right hand this time is going to come in front of your face. Left fingertips reach up high. Exhale, thread the left arm through over to the right side of the room, lowering your left shoulder towards the floor. Press it down through the right palm. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it through. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread it through and hold. Sliding those left fingertips as far over to the right as you can with the palm facing up. Left shoulder, top left corner of your head, resting on the floor. Maybe you choose to straighten the right arm, reach it overhead towards the top of the mat. Keep pressing down firmly to the entire length of your left arm. Walk your right hand in towards your face. Press down through the right palm. Left fingertips reach up towards the ceiling. Lower your left hand to the mat. Big toes come to touch, knees go wide. Send your hips back towards your heels for child's pose, sliding your fingertips away from you. The forehead is resting on the floor or on a block. Sinking your hips towards the heels, but if it's a little bit too much tension, you can always bring them to rest on a block instead. Come back through tabletop. We're going to reach the left leg long behind. Turn the toes to face the left side of the room. Bend your left knee, step forward to the top left corner of your mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. You want to stay with a nice wide stance here, so the left foot is at the edge of your mat. Left toes point slightly outwards. And you can have as much or as little bend in the back leg as you need. Option here to bring your hands up onto blocks. And that's going to bring a little more space, a little more length to your arms, and length through the low back to prevent compression in that area. If you're feeling a good stretch here, stay as you are. Otherwise, you're welcome to come onto the pinky toe edge of your left foot, lifting the inner arch away from the floor, as if you're showing the inseam of your left pant leg to the sky. You can hold in stillness, or you can take a few gentle circles with the hips. Just be really mindful to be light on that left foot, allowing it to pivot with your leg. And circle in the opposite direction before landing in stillness at your depth. You can stay up onto your hands, onto blocks, or you can lower down onto forearms with your forearms on the floor or on your blocks. Focus on lengthening through your spine. We're not coming into a cat-like back. Rise back up onto your hands if you're not already there. Come back onto the sole of the left foot. We're going to heel toe that left foot through center, framing it with your hands for a low lunge. If being in lunges for an extended period of time bothers your right knee, the knee on the floor, you can always place a folded towel or a pillow beneath it. And choose whatever height of blocks allows you to keep the straightest spine. So if you feel like you're rounding, hollowing out your chest, trying to reach for the floor, it may just mean that you need to add some length to your arms through blocks. Keep the left knee pointing the same direction as the left toes. We're going to tuck the right knee, lift the right knee up off of the floor. So a little bit of a higher lunge here. Keep the right heel reaching towards the back of the room as you squeeze the right thigh muscle in towards your bone. I'm pausing here. And lower that right knee back to the mat. So if you have your hands on blocks, it may be a good idea to come a little bit higher onto those blocks. Always the option to choose stillness or movement. So if you prefer to hold in a low lunge, you're welcome to do so, shortening it at any time or coming out if it becomes too much. We're going to have our hands up onto the blocks. Tuck your back toes. Lift your right knee. We're going to start to straighten through the left knee. So that means we're bringing the hips towards the back of the mat a little bit. This is where we want to have the blocks. If our hands are down on the floor, you're going to start rounding through your spine. We really want the stretch in the legs, not the low back. Shift your weight forward. Bring the sole of the left foot back onto the mat. Left knee bends as the right knee lowers. So we're just going to alternate between the two of those poses. Right toes are tucked, the back toes are tucked. Lift the right knee. Send your hips back. The left toes start to lift as you straighten your left leg. Right heel reaches for the floor, but it's okay if it doesn't touch. As you do this, you're drawing the left hip back, the right hip forward. Shifting our weight forward, sole of the left foot finds the floor. Start to bend the left knee. Lower the right knee for your low lunge. One more just like that. Lift the right knee. Send your hips back. Right heel's reaching for the floor as you lift the left toes. Square up your hips by drawing that left hip back a little bit. And then shift your weight forward. Lower the right knee. One big breath here. And then start to walk your hands back towards your hips, with or without the blocks. Come up onto the left heel. And start to pull your heart towards the left toes. Walk your hands forward to frame the front foot. You can bring your hands back down onto the floor, releasing the blocks at the sides, keeping them nearby for the next side. Tuck your back toes, lift the back knee. We're going to step back to the back of the mat. So however that works for you, find your way into a downward facing dog. Walk your knees out a little bit. Pause in the center. Lower your knees to the floor. Send your hips back towards your heels for a child's pose. You can have as much or as little space between the knees as you like to support your belly. Option this time to send your hands back towards the heels. Palms face up as the fingers spread wide. Just taking a moment to release through the upper body. Letting go of tension that may have developed through the wrists. Slide your hands towards the front of the mat. Come up through tabletop. This time the right leg is going to extend long. Turn the right toes to the right side of the room so that you're able to bend the right knee and step forward to the top of the mat. Take as many steps as you need to get there. You can slide your left leg back and straighten it a little bit more, or you can bring a generous bend into the leg. It does not matter. Just listen to your body. Make any adjustments that you need. Both hands are to the inside of the right foot. They can be on the ground or up onto blocks. And you're going to heel toe your right foot to the outer edge. With the right foot at the outer edge, turn the toes out a little bit further. And you can stay here. You can start to tip over onto the pinky toe side of the right foot, showing the inseam of the right pant leg to the sky. Take a few little circles with the hips, just being mindful not to ground down through the right foot, allowing it to pivot with your leg. Circle in the opposite direction. As you come through center, land in your depth. Choosing whether to stay up on your hands, or you can bring your forearms onto the floor or onto your block. This can be a good option for those who have wrist sensitivities. If coming down onto blocks isn't an option, you can also come onto fists, allowing the wrist to straighten. Think about drawing the left hip forward as the right hip draws back a little bit without actually moving your legs. And if you're all the way down onto your arms, you can come up onto the palms of your hands or onto your blocks. Bring the sole of the right foot back to the floor so that you're able to heel toe it through center. Landing in a low lunge here. You may have to adjust your stance. Maybe you choose to bring a little bit more of a bend into the back leg. And keep your stance just wide enough that you can support your balance. You're not having to walk on a tightrope here. And we're going to bring a little bit more activation into that back leg. We're going to tuck the left toes. Start to lift your left knee up off of the floor, lengthening from the left heel to the top of your head. So it's as if you're trying to press the left heel into a wall behind you. Draw your left kneecap up towards your left hip to activate the left leg. Keep that right knee pointing the same direction as the right toes, making sure to maintain weight on the big toe mound of the right foot. Then we're going to lower the left knee onto the floor. If your hands are on blocks, you'll want to bring them into a little bit of a higher height. Always an option to just have your hands on a nearby chair as well. Again, your choice. You can choose to stay here in stillness, holding your pose, come out at any time. But we're going to find a little bit of movement here. So the left toes will tuck. We're going to lift the left knee. Stay long through the spine as we shift the hips back. Reach the left heel to the floor. Straighten the right leg to the best of your ability. And bring the right toes up off of the mat. Stay even through the hips, so the right hip's drawn back. And the left hip comes forward and down a little bit in line with the right. Shift our weight forward, bring the sole of the right foot down onto the mat. Left knee bends, right knee bends. Land in your low lunge, option to untuck the left toes. And a few more just like that. So we're going to bend the left toes. Lift the left knee. Shift your weight back, come up onto the right heel. Square up your hips. Draw your heart beyond the right toes. Shift yourself forward, right foot to the floor, lower the left knee, find your lunge. One more, just like that. Lift the back leg, straighten the right, send your hips back. Shift yourself forward, return to your lunge, holding here. And then to ease out of the stretch in the front of the left hip, we're going to walk our hands back towards the hips, come up onto the right heel. Don't worry about touching your forehead to your shin. Instead, think about drawing your heart beyond the right toes. And walk your hands forward to frame your right foot. You can release your blocks at your side. With your hands on the floor, tuck your back toes. Slide the right foot back to meet the left, downward facing dog. Walking out your dog a little bit by bending one knee, then the other. Land in stillness in your dog. We're going to walk the feet a little bit wider apart in your dog. This is just going to help support your balance and keep your sits bones lifting towards the sky. Just test out your ability to balance here. Bring a little more weight into your left hand. Lighten the weight in the right. If you feel supported, you can start to walk the right hand back towards the left leg. It does not have to touch the leg. You can simply slide it in that direction. Or you can reach up for the left leg if it's accessible, gazing up under the left armpit. Release the right hand, let it come back to downward facing dog. We'll move to the opposite side. So find your balance first. That's why the wider stance here. And a little bit of weight into the right hand this time, so that the left hand can slide back. Reach it over towards the right foot. Maybe you stop with it on the mat. Maybe you're able to take hold of the right leg, gazing up under the right armpit. Left hand comes back through center. Lower your knees. Lift your right hand off the mat. Do a few circles through the wrist in both directions. Lifting the left hand off the mat. Do a few circles through the wrists in the opposite direction. Big toes come to touch. Knees go wide. Send your hips back towards your heels. Child's pose. You can have this as active or as passive as you like. So maybe you're pressing firmly through the fingertips as you slide the hands away. Or you can bend through the elbows with the arms rest softly on the floor. Rise back up through tabletop. A little sway from side to side. Bring one hip onto the floor. We're going to swirl around and find our way onto our back. With your knees bent to begin, just take a little sway of the knees from side to side. Walk your heels in a little bit closer towards your glutes. We're going to place a block between the thighs and squeeze firmly into that block. Palms are on the floor, Fingertips reaching towards your heels. Slide your shoulder blades beneath you to open up through the chest. We're going to press down through the heels, lift the hips up towards the sky for a bridge pose. Keep squeezing onto that block. Exhale, lower your hips back down. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift back up. Exhale to lower. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower. And this time we're going to hold the lift, so rising up, pausing here. Slide your shoulder blades beneath you, really opening up through the chest as you tuck your chin in slightly to lengthen through your neck. Keep squeezing into the block, but at the same time, you're drawing the outer hips away from each other and down towards the floor. An option to interlace your fingers beneath you, pressing the pinky fingers down into the mat. If you'd like it to be a little more passive, you can always use the second block beneath the hips and allow them to lower down. Either variation, just taking a few more breaths here in stillness. Staying active through the legs, but allow the rest of your body to soften, especially the belly as it moves with breath. One more big breath here. As you exhale, slowly down, lower down. Remove your block, hug your knees in towards you. Just take a gentle rock from side to side. Land in the center, draw your knees a little bit wider apart, creating space between your thighs. Stay heavy through all four corners of your pelvis as you lengthen through your spine. And draw your knees towards your outer shoulders. If you're feeling a good stretch, stay just as you are. We'll move into happy baby by bringing your arms up the inside of your legs. Reach across your shins for the pinky toe edge of your feet. If that's not accessible, you can also hold the outer edges of your ankles or pant legs. Stay heavy through the pelvis as you start to draw the heels away from the glutes, reaching the soles of your feet towards the sky with a bend in your knees. Notice if you're starting to scoop up your tailbone, can you lengthen through the low back? Even if that means the heels are a little bit closer to the glutes than you'd like. If your knees are close to the ground, sometimes it can feel nice to place a block beneath them so that you have something to press into. Choosing the height of block that works best in your body. Slowly release your feet, allowing them to find their way back onto the mat. Press down through the soles of your feet. We're going to slide the block beneath the hips and lower them back down. So it's as if you're in a supported bridge pose on the lowest setting. Make sure the block is beneath the pelvis, not necessarily on the low back or spine. Choose a position where it's not gouging in or uncomfortable. We're going to heel toe the feet towards the center. Let the soles of your feet come to touch. The knees open up like a book, creating a diamond shape with your legs. Arms can be wide at your sides. If this is not working, you are welcome to remove the block at any time. Let the soles of your feet support one another. To ease off on the stretch, you can draw your toes away from you towards the bottom of your mat. Keep that shape of your legs. Keep the knees drawn open as you just take a little rock from side to side. Letting one knee dip down towards the floor and then the other. Just alternating side to side as you rock, keeping the upper body as stable and still as you can. Pause in the center. Allow the soles of the feet to continue to support one another as the knees surrender to gravity, removing the block at any time that it becomes too much. Take a few little butterfly motions up and down here in the center, and then fully surrender to stillness. The only movement is your breath as it moves through your body. With or without the help of your hands, draw the knees back through center. Lift your hips up, remove your block. Lower your hips to the floor. Knees still bent, walk your feet to the edges of the mat and let the knees tip into touch. Just giving the low back an opportunity to reset into your mat. Taking a few deep breaths into your low back. This is a great alternative to Shavasana if you have low back or hip sensitivities and it's uncomfortable lying on your back. You can come here at any time. We're going to draw the knees away from each other with the feet wide. Just do a little rock from side to side, letting go of any last remaining tension through the low back, the hips, the body. When you feel ready in your own time, extend your legs long to the bottom corners of your mat. Let the feet go wide, the ankles soften as the toes fall out to the sides. Take any last minute fidgets or adjustments that you need to find comfort and stillness. Shoulder blades slide beneath you, welcoming a sense of openness through the chest, the throat, and your heart. Do one last scan of your body, welcoming softness into each area, relaxing the toes, the arches of the feet, the heels of the feet, the ankles. Softening through the calf muscles, the shins, the knees, the thighs, the legs, both left and right. Begin to release, relax, and to let go. Letting go of tension through the hips, the glutes, the pelvis as a whole. The fingers, the palms of the hands, the backs of the hands and wrists, the arms, both left and right, begin to soften, melt into the floor, release, let go, and relax. The back body grows heavy on the mat beneath you, sinking deeper and deeper with each breath out. The front body remains light and fluid, moving freely with breath. The belly rises and falls freely, effortlessly, as as the body is at ease. A welcome sense of length up the back of the neck as the head grows heavy on the floor. The gaze begins to soften, perhaps the eyelids close. As you relax the jaw and the face, letting go of all effort to control the rhythm of breath, simply aware of its presence as it moves in and out through your nose. The gentle breeze dancing across your upper lip as you do. This practice of stillness and of breath will continue to be yours for as long as you choose to allow it. And when you do choose to get up and go, do so slowly and mindfully, taking with you a little bit of the energy you've cultivated here on your mat today, with you into the rest of your day to follow. With such gratitude for you joining me here on your mat today and always. Namaste.